So one generation of plants dying ain't going to destroy the oxygen on Earth. We need to know about time dilation or GPS wouldn't work.
In Interstellar, what was that supposed five-dimensional reality that he went into when he was looking through the bookcases and seeing his daughter?
Yeah. Well, I try and block that movie out of my mind. I was just talking about it this morning. The worst science fiction movie ever made.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway.
Why do you say that?
Because, look, it wasn't the black hole. Kip Thorne, who had the concept of the movie, is a Nobel Prize-winning physicist and a friend of mine, and he's a really good scientist. And the picture of what the black hole would look like for that planet, that was his stuff. But the story itself, which the eventually made into a movie, which I don't think was his story completely, was just so ridiculous. The simple stuff. You see, for me to like science fiction, I wrote a book called The Physics of Star Trek, so I know. But so the important thing about science fiction is not the science in it, but whether the story is good enough to make you suspend disbelief. And there were so many stupid things about that story at a basic level, not the fancy string theory stuff, which I thought was silly, but the basic stuff. So the purpose of this whole mission is because the oxygen in the planet is going because plants are dying.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it took 2 billion years for organic life on Earth to build up the oxygen level to the level it is. So one generation of plants dying ain't going to destroy the oxygen on Earth. Moreover, if it was happening, do you think the solution would be to build this incredible rocket ship to travel to God knows where instead of maybe thinking of geoengineering here on Earth? Let me give you another...
But weren't they saying that wasn't, in their hypothetical reality, that wasn't possible?
But the problem isn't a problem. It wouldn't have happened. I mean, we wouldn't lose oxygen.
It's good to know.
But also, let me take a more simple thing. You got this the likelihood of being able to create this incredible complex with this fantastic traveling spacecraft in the Midwest underground without anyone knowing that this whole thing is built.
Right.
It's just there in the cornfield, and somehow one day it just appeared. I mean, those trivial things enough to make me not want to suspend disbelief. I remember I tweeted after I saw Interstellar. I had 2 tweets. One was said, I saw Interstellar, 3 hours can be like 30 years. That was one of my favorite tweets.
Well, actually, though, that concept
is right.
Time dilation, that's wild.
That's true. And I had Kip, Kip and Thorne and I were on stage, and I talked to Kip about that after Interstellar. And I said, yeah, that's true. But the problem is, if the gravity is strong enough to have that kind of time dilation, then you're going to be crushed. The tidal force, because if the gravity is very strong, there are so-called tidal forces. Right? Actually, the force of gravity on your feet is greater than the force of gravity on your head.
All right, so hold on real quick, just for people out there. When we're talking about time dilation, we're talking about how time is measured differently, like the farther you get away from something.
Yeah, and that's true because of gravity. When the gravity is weaker, clocks travel faster than they do when it's stronger. Okay? Okay, and that's why...
That's interesting.
Well, it's not only interesting. You use it every day. I used it to get here almost if I've been driving. My driver used it to get here because he was using GPS. Okay?
Wait, so hold on.
I'm going to explain it. I know I'm going to get there.
Okay.
I remember writing a piece on this a long time ago. So if we didn't depend on... We need to know about time dilation or GPS wouldn't work. Because GPS satellites are traveling about at 10 to 20,000 miles above the Earth's surface, going about 8,000 miles an hour. And so the gravity on by those satellites is weaker than the gravity at the Earth. Now, the way a GPS works is basically a signal is sent from your phone to the satellite and back end, and the time it takes to travel to the satellite is measured. And then there's another satellite. That's why you always need 2 or 3 satellites for GPS to work. And the time is measured there. And you triangulate, because you know the speed of light. Yeah. And the time, and measuring the different times, you figure where the person is. That's how the satellites know where you are, okay?
Whoa.
Now, if the clocks on the satellites are kicking at a different rate than the clocks on Earth, then you go out of sync. And you can work out, given the gravity of the Earth and the height of those things, that within a day, those clocks would be out by about 38 microseconds, which doesn't sound like a lot. But light travels about a meter in a nanosecond. If you didn't take into account general relativity, the time dilation due to general relativity, your GPS in an hour would be out by a kilometer. So we have to take into account the fact that these clocks the atomic clocks on those satellites are ticking at a different rate. It's not so. This isn't hypothetical. Your whole life depends upon it if you're traveling in a car.
So Interstellar is not all bad.
Well, no. It's not all bad, but very few things are all bad.
Well,
It's
Lawrence,
just a bad story.
You got to entertain people. You
I know.
You got to keep it 50%
I know,
true, 50%
but you can
false.
I agree, but you can only entertain people like me if the story's good enough
true.
to suspend disbelief. I don't mind.
But
lots
you're
of
a genius.
No, but hold on. I don't mind lots of science fiction where I like Star Trek, where there's lots of nonsense. But if the stories are good enough, then you don't mind suspending disbelief. And in that story, the basic features of the story I thought were silly. I didn't, and that was enough to.
Dying.
And then this bookcase thing. I just thought it was all. My other tweet was, I saw Interstellar, should have stayed home. And that was the other line in Interstellar. But anyway, so that was the problem. And Pete, now you'll get a lot of hate mail, or I will now because of that.
That's all right.
In any case, so
If you're trying to navigate market turbulence, why not set course to the Noble Gold Investments Safe Haven? With global uncertainty looming, your savings and retirement plans are under siege. But there's one asset that stood the test of time. Gold. So unlock the peace of mind that comes with owning gold, the ultimate safe haven. And if precious metals are new to you, Noble Gold Investments will hold your hand throughout the entire process. Why? Because they have a team of experts who will guide you every step of the way to safety. Thousands of investors have sheltered their retirement savings with Noble Gold Investments. So don't leave yourself completely exposed to the markets right now. It's way too risky. With gold at an all-time high and looking to climb further, it's the perfect time. To open a Noble Gold Investments IRA and secure your future, along with a free gold bullion coin, act now before it's too late. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com/Julian Dorey or call 877-646-5347. And if you do so right now, Noble Gold Investments will also give you one free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin as well. Once again, that's www.noblegoldinvestments.com/Julian Dorey, or simply hit the link in my description below. So head there now and open up your own gold IRA with the only gold company I trust.